Hey, Rich,
Hey, Michael.
and welcome everybody to BitPunch Radio episode 028. Rich, we have
Yes.
been trying to get to know each other a little better. We've only known each other for like a decade now, but our audience doesn't necessarily always know us. So I have been using this website called conversationstartersworld.com.
And it's been straight fire so far.
Yeah, it's been some really strange questions. I've got some tamer ones today. Um, so I'll just like picking like a couple of random ones from here.
Oh no, you're pre-screening them?
And yeah, for this one I was going to because I started circling through them and they were getting kind of political, and I was like, I'm not really interested
Mm,
in this.
that's what the kids are into nowadays.
So there is they have a list of like 350 questions you could ask that are like a little more casual. So
Oh boy.
uh, here
Okay.
is the first one, and then I might just like roll the dice on the next ones. Okay, let me get a sip of my
Yeah, we
ball
we should
jar water.
we should definitely do that. I
Mhm.
like rolling the dice.
Okay, we will do that. What movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of? You go first.
um Man, over and over without getting tired of. Well, I have kids, so I do this on a daily basis, and it just
Watch
depends
the
on what
same thing.
movie they're watching.
Yeah.
Um but me, I don't know that I've really ever done that with a movie,
Mm-hmm.
other than like when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had to pick something, it'd probably be a TV show, honestly, like The Office. Like I could just turn The Office on and just be fine.
That's like your
Um,
yeah, right.
yeah, yep. That's my cheat answer. I'm cheating.
So there is a movie that my wife and I will watch at least once a year. We actually haven't actually watched it in a little bit, which is surprising, but we typically watch Jackie Brown.
Really?
Yeah, that is a movie that so like I like Quentin Tarantino, but Jackie Brown is a movie that we have watched more than probably any other movie together.
Mm,
Um there's been some Marvel movies that we've watched a handful of times, but I just think Jackie Brown is something that we just constantly go back to.
mm.
It's not even
Okay.
my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. That's just I don't know, it's just this weird thing where we just I don't know, we'll see it on or we'll be scrolling through
Yeah.
Netflix or Plex or something, and it's like as soon as we see it, we're like, okay, boop, we got to watch that. So,
Huh. Okay.
but yeah, I'd say Jackie Brown is mine. Trying to think if there's another one. Thor Ragnarok has been something we've watched a handful of times. The kids really like it. It's pretty silly. Um,
Yeah, that's a really good one.
gosh. Right before we came upstairs to record, we finished Spider-Man: Homecoming, so we're trying to get caught up on some of the stuff before the three Marvel movies come out this year.
Right.
So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, I'd say you've got The Office. I would agree with that. You know, we tend to kind of watch that as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say Jackie Brown is probably my answer. I'm gonna
Okay.
flick the screen,
Okay.
and we're just going to land on whatever's the top one. Gosh darn it. Um, what's something that will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes? Are glasses fashion? I
Well,
know.
I think it depends on like what you mean by fashion, like
How
literal
about
fashion,
frames?
or like something just being like in like something that's just gonna stay around like in a fashion,
I think
not
I
actual
think what
dress
I'm
fashion.
wearing right now, which is just a solid color V-neck, will probably always be in fashion.
So you're gonna take it literal, like actual
Yes.
clothing, fashion,
Clothing. Yeah.
fashion. Okay. Something that
Boots.
will always be in fashion. Yeah, boots. Boots is probably a good one. Ooh, I, it changes so freaking much. Like
I
I think
know.
about like when we were kids, like the bell bottoms and
What
like.
about like a cowboy hat?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends on where you live, but yeah, yeah, sure.
Can you get by with wearing a cowboy hat anywhere you go, no
No,
matter where you're at?
no, no. There's probably places that no, no, no,
uh,
no. I think no matter what you wear, somebody's gonna have a problem.
all right, let's do one more. All right. Uh, gosh, there's just these are all terrible, man. What's the
Good.
most? Oh, here's a good one. What's the most expensive thing you've broken?
Hmm. I mean, I wrecked a car really bad.
That's a
Um,
good one. That's
but
not
that
good,
that
but
wasn't my fault. But
yeah,
but like accidentally broken something. Um, I, I don't think I've ever like broken like some kind of valuable thing before.
yeah.
Like I've like not like broke my mom's vase or anything, or
I
like
mean,
destroyed something that like I like the things that I buy like I take pretty good care of.
yeah.
Um, mm,
I've never been in a major car crash,
yeah.
so I can't say that like I've caused an accident like that. Um, I think moving probably broken some stuff moving.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was a really nice shelf that we had that went in the bathroom, and I lazily loaded this thing in a pickup truck. And as I was driving down the highway going like 55 miles an hour, I watched the thing just fly right out of the pickup truck onto the road. Thankfully, there was nobody behind me. We lived in the country, so it's kind of empty.
So you just left it
But
there?
no, I went and picked it back up, and I was
Mm,
just like, I don't know what happened. I think I hit something when I loaded it, and it
yeah,
just snapped the leg. But it was still usable, believe it or
yeah,
not. But
yeah.
um, let me just see if we've got one more. They're really bad.
I,
Um, let me just throw some out here. Like, here's how bad they are. Should kidneys be able to be sold and bought?
no.
What riddles do you know? What's your
Mm.
cure for hiccups?
You take a sip of water and you don't swallow it.
Oh, okay. How do you judge a person?
I look at them into their soul.
Um, which celebrity or band has the worst fan base?
Um, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Wow, okay. The worst?
The
That's
the
really local.
the worst. Let me tell you.
I'm surprised you actually didn't say a Kentucky Wildcat, but
I know they're real bad, but they're probably equally bad.
yeah.
Um, Buckeyes fans are pretty delusional.
Oh man. Yeah, these are all really bad. We might have to change this up a little bit. Well, okay, well, here's the last one. What was cool when you were young but isn't cool now?
um, Playing outside in the woods.
The first thing I thought of was Jinko jeans. But
Yeah, I mean, a
turns
lot of that time, like pumps. Did you have a set of pumps?
I didn't. No. I think I
Yeah.
had like some
Did
fake ass
you have
pumps.
some LA gears?
LA Gears.
The
No,
the light
no, I
up
never
ones?
did.
Dude,
I had light up shoes.
I had like a vivid memory of like when I got my LA gears, like sitting on the bus and just like tapping my heel. Just
Just
letting it,
watching,
them things
watching
probably
the
didn't,
strobe.
them things probably didn't last 3 days. Like the batteries in those things are probably dead as hell in 3 days.
I
Yeah.
mean, a Walkman. That's not
Oh
cool
my
now.
gosh. Yeah,
Carrying
man.
carrying around a 72 binder of CDs. That's not cool now.
Yep. Yep. I remember
Um,
when I got my first MP3 player, it was like this big, and it
heavy.
held, and it, no, it was pretty little. It was like
Oh
a little
wow.
bit bigger than like a USB drive, but it held 10 songs.
Whoa. The one that
It,
I had, or a friend had, it had like metal around it. I guess because they were concerned that
oh yeah.
if you dropped it, so the thing weighed like a pound or something. But it was like a little bitty thing, but it just had so much metal on it. It was really heavy and felt weird. It was
Yeah.
like as heavy as like a phone, but it was so small comparatively. But this is this is BitPunch Radio episode 028. What do you want to talk about today? How are things with you?
Things are real busy. Busy at work. Uh, Busy at home. My kids are back in school. Um, which as a parent just kind of complicates everything. Logistics.
Yeah.
Being a parent is all about logistics
Yeah.
between you and your wife. Um, and school just makes it this own special little nightmare, and COVID makes it a even bigger nightmare.
Hmm.
So we got that going on. We're all trying to get back adjusted to that. Um, Been reading a lot of books, playing some games, doing some other stuff. Some other stuff. Yeah, yeah.
What do what do we want to dive into first?
Um, why don't you dive into what you've got going on first here? I'm gonna do some video editing here for a second, but you go right ahead.
So, I have been watching Castlevania season 3. That has been just a fantastic show. Um, a lot has happened this season, and a lot has set up the last season. So the fourth season is the last season. Then I think they're going to diverge, and kind of go some sort of separate direction. This one is set around, you know, a handful of characters.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't want to get into like spoileries, but it's been a really good show. Um, I think I still liked season 2 better, but I like the direction where they're going with things, and they're kind of setting up a cool little story. There's like oh gosh, I don't know, Rich, if I want to say this. Let me like tag this a little bit as like a spoiler for season 2.
Okay.
But the main villain is Dracula. The show starts out where Dracula's girlfriend, or like the girl he was with, she wants to practice medicine. And at the time, in this era, in like the 1600s,
Yeah.
she's labeled a witch and she gets burned.
Ooh.
Dracula comes out and is like, yo, a year from now, I'm going to wreck you all. So be ready. Well, a year comes by and it's like after midnight. So they're all celebrating, like, oh, he's not going to hurt us. Well, then he comes with like a flaming head of himself and just wrecks everybody. I mean, it's just a mess, right?
Whoa. Okay.
And so that's like the first couple episodes. Then you meet Trevor Belmont, and then I don't think you meet Sypha in the first season. Maybe you do, but Sypha and Trevor, they kind of team up in the second season, and they are just like doing quests, like meeting different characters that kind of come and go from the story. You do meet Alucard. There is a Simon, I think.
Simon. Yeah. Simon is a video game
Yeah,
character, I think.
yeah. And then the third season, and then there's Hector. Hector's in there as well. So you do kind of see some of the other characters from the video game. Hold on, I lost the stream. Someone pull this back up. There you are. And so the third season is kind of like it's definitely setting up like where the fourth season is going. There ends up being a group of sisters that are vampires that kind of become more of the central villains because of what happens with Dracula. And then they're kind of setting like that up, and then Simon's story. Lost the stream again. Hector. Okay, I'm getting disconnected, but that's okay. Like just kind of how they're kind of being, just how they're telling the story is just really unique. Again, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but I just started the fourth season today, and again, you can tell like, oh, they upped their budget a little bit because this fight scene in this first episode like looks really, really good. So, Castlevania season 3 is really good. I'll hopefully be done with that show by our next episode, and then probably going to start another anime. So, yeah, I've had some suggestions thrown at me.
Anime's hot. It's hot right now.
It's hot, man. It's hot with you too.
Mm-hmm.
West Wing season 5. We're still watching that. We've been watching Marvel Legends. Do you know anything about Marvel Legends?
I don't.
So every time that they have released like a new show or a new movie, they do these recap things. So when the Loki show came out, they did a recap of Loki, and it was just like a little 10-minute bit of a bunch of stitched together scenes from all the movies that he's been in. And it was just kind of like, let's catch you up with Loki and kind of show you what's been going on.
So it's a way for them to take content that they already have, stitch it together that people will watch.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Free money, print money.
It's good for my kids because they've missed stuff. You know, we haven't seen some of the movies. So they're like, okay, well, I kind of get what they're going for here. And we try to fill in the gaps, or, you know, if something happens in the show that's like a power that maybe they didn't know he had, we'll kind of we will annoyingly like pause it to be like, okay, well, here's why this is happening. But that's been pretty good. But no new movies, just kind of getting through that stuff. And as far as books, got nothing new there as well. Just been reading Oathbringer. No new comics. Been kind of just focusing on Oathbringer, trying to get through that. I'd say I'd love to finish that in like a month. Again, I'm a slow reader. So still going to take me a little bit of time. I'll probably give it a little room before I read Rhythm of War, which is the fourth book and the latest one in the series. So I will just pick up on a couple other things. I don't know what I'm going to read yet. Maybe you'll talk me into some Witcher stuff, or we'll see. As far as games, though, I have been playing a ton of Final Fantasy. Did I have Final Fantasy 1 finished on the last episode?
You were either finished, like just finished, or getting ready to. I think you might have gotten beat. Like you just needed to beat the boss.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I finished Final Fantasy 1. I have finished Final Fantasy 2. I have picked up on Final Fantasy 3. I am playing Final Fantasy 14. I'm playing The Ascent. I am playing Fallout 76, and I'm playing Yakuza. Do you have any questions about any of these games? And I can't see you right now.
I'm not sure why, because I'm still streaming to Discord.
Yeah.
I will take it down and bring it back up.
Okay.
Why? Tell me why we're not playing The Ascent.
Okay. So this game was made by like a dozen people. And okay, I see you. Thank you. This game, it has been made by like a dozen people, and it released on Game Pass. It's gotten a lot of buzz. It's gorgeous. There's a story there. I have no idea what's going on in the story.
Yeah.
Some people are like, it's great. So, and then I hear other people, it's like, it's nonsense, just whatever. Regardless, they've probably got, I would say, several million people trying to play this game right now, if I had to guess. Could be wrong, but they have patched the game, and we were having a lot of issues when we first started playing it. We were having
Yep.
like game breaking bugs. We've talked about this in the last episode. Then they patched it again, and they're trying to get it up to, I guess the Steam version is like the most stable version that they have.
Right. Yep.
So they're trying to update the Microsoft Store version, the Xbox Series versions to get it up to par to how that works. They just can't get there. Like they just keep running into issues.
Yeah.
And the latest patch is causing even more stuttering, which we already had an issue streaming that, so we were like, I don't know about that. But it's also causing save issues. So I look on my Game Pass window, and it's still like asking me to install, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to touch it. I'm nervous. I don't want to lose our save, even though
Yeah.
we're only like 6 hours into it. I want to finish that game, but if something were to happen and we had to start over, I would not finish that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
It's fun to play. It's fun to play with someone else too. I don't think I'd care for that game playing solo, even though I hear that's the way to play it because that's the best that it runs.
Yeah. Running version. Yeah.
But so we seen that happen. We were like jonesing to go play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, this is happening and we need to stream. So what do we want to stream? So you and I like started a list on Notion, which is where we kind of share notes back and forth
Yep.
of games that we could potentially play. And Fallout 76 has been kind of like floating around on there.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, this costs money when we were creating the list. Like, so we need to, not that it's a lot of money, but it's money. So it's like,
Yep.
we need to like prioritize this based on whatever. Then Microsoft buys Bethesda and just releases it on Game Pass. So we're like, okay, well, maybe we'll get to it at some point, but we keep finding other things to play, like Resident Evil and Axiom Verge, The Ascent. But with this happening, it's like, well, okay, let's actually like give this a shot. So we install it, and we're liking it a lot, but we're also like kind of watching to see what happens with The Ascent. Because when that fixes, or when they finally like release the patch for it that fixes it, we want to play it and at least get through it. But man, you're gonna have a hard time getting me away from Fallout because that game is fun.
Yeah.
There's a fun game there. So
Yeah.
Fallout 76 is Fallout 4 in West Virginia. It is that game. There's not that many differences, at least what I've seen so far. I don't remember the building of Fallout 76 or Fallout 4.
There was definitely a robust building mechanic in Fallout 4.
So I remember there being one. I just don't remember how.
I don't think it operated in the same fashion though, like with the camp and all that stuff. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of those games, but a weird MMO thing, like some weird like amalgamation.
Yeah, yeah. It's the weirdness is just trying to figure out like how it wants us to play it.
Yep.
Because right off the bat, you escape the vault. You're in West Virginia, and when this game launched in 2018, it was kind of like shat all over.
Yeah.
There were no NPCs.
It wasn't ready. It was released before.
There really wasn't like much of a story to it, and those games are known for their stories. Like that is the thing that is getting you to the next destination. It's like, okay, well, I went to this random guy's house and he had this dead person with him, and he was just like, these marauders came in here and like killed him. Can you go take care of him? And it's like, yes, let's go do this. Let's go contribute to murder, and then we'll come back, and there's just that cadence to it, And when Fallout 76 launched, it was just like there wasn't people. It was just like robots and just like radios and stuff you were kind of interacting with. So over the last 3 years, they've made a lot of updates to it. They've released a couple pieces of DLC,
Yep.
and it's
Yep.
just
Yep.
they've just kind of worked the kinks out of it, and it seems like there's a really fun game there.
It's kind of maybe not to this extreme, but it's kind of taken the No Man's Sky path.
Yeah.
Launched pretty bare bones, probably before it was ready.
Hmm.
Was kind of billed as being this, kind of hyped up a little bit, didn't necessarily live up to those expectations, and now slowly is kind of turning into what the original sort of vision was.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are like what level? What level are we in that
I think
game?
I'm 12 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're probably 3-4 hours in at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's enjoyable. It's doing nothing different. There's
Uh,
nothing.
I
I
wouldn't say
haven't.
that. I mean, there's like the VATS works differently. Um,
That's true because they
you
can't.
know,
Since there's other people on the server, they can't be constantly slowing the world down.
right, right. I mean, we
So
encountered another player yesterday that was semi-hostile.
yeah.
Um,
Well, we
we
kind
we
of broke
did
into their.
we did break into his camp. But I mean, there's that going on. There's these events, like a nuke was set off in our game, which
Hmm.
I had talked to somebody at work about, and he's like, "Oh, you should have ran to it after it blew up because there's like stuff there now that you could have went
Oh,
and done." And I was like, "Well, I never would have thought about that." So
you normally run away from bombs. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm having fun with it for sure.
yeah, we went spelunking when we played on the stream last time. Kind of went through a pretty deep
Yep.
cave
Yeah,
and
some of those like areas and buildings we went in were pretty elaborate, even by those game standards. I think
right.
some of those like Skyrim and even Fallout could be pretty repetitive
Sure.
in like the dungeon design.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to keep playing it. I don't. We will continue to stream that game, but we will also probably continue to play it solo, and we'll just kind of get together and see where we're at. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
because there are like daily challenges you can do. There are events that keep popping off from time to time. Um, no, it's been a good time. I
yeah.
enjoy it.
Yes,
Um,
it's a good game
I think
so far.
it'll whet my palate until Starfield comes out. So
You keep talking about Starfield like it's tomorrow and it's over a year away.
I
I
know, but
just
I mean,
I can't
I'm
even think that
playing.
far ahead.
I'm playing Fallout 76. I like to play in. I'm playing Fallout 76 and Final Fantasy 14. So I'm like,
Yeah.
these two games will get me through the next year and some
There
change.
are so
So
many nostalgic Nintendo announcements between now and when Starfield come out of
that's
things you're going
true.
to have to play.
They're gonna do another re-release of Final Fantasy one
Right.
through six that I'll have to play before
Yeah.
then. So
Exactly. Exactly. How many Dragon Quest games will come out between now and then? At least 5.
Dragon Quest 3 is set to have a re-release. Dragon Quest 12 is that real dark looking. Remember when they
Yep.
released that trailer and people are like, is this going to be like a Dark Souls game?
Right,
And
yeah.
no, that's not the case. But, you can hope.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did jump back on the bandwagon of Final Fantasy 14. I got a character to level 20. And now my my character Tam Reppy, which is my name on Fallout 76, he is currently I think level 10 or 11. That game, once you break through that first 100 hours, Rich, it's just
Oh, it
smooth
just yeah,
sailing from
just
there. So,
yep, yep. That's when the
um,
real game starts.
that is I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to listen to a podcast. I need to take a break. I need to just take a break from reality
Yeah,
and
man.
jump into
Jack in.
yeah. Yeah.
Jack into the Final Fantasy.
To jack into the Final Fantasy, I have to put in two different passwords and I have to accept it on my phone. So
Great.
their security is very robust. It's about
Perfect.
as hard as getting into
We don't
my
want
day
anybody
job.
else catching those fish, let me tell you.
I haven't gotten to the fishing mechanic, but man, with Skyrim doing fishing, I'm sure we can
Yeah.
fish in Fallout for all of its like radioactive whatever fish are in there. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yakuza 3, I'm still slogging through that. It's just a bummer. It's such a like I should have taken a break.
Is
I
that a
did
bad
not.
game?
It's a bad game, yeah. Yeah. And I don't care to
Mm,
admit that. I'm not like some
yeah.
like, oh, Yakuza, they can't do no wrong. No, Yakuza 3 is real bad.
Okay.
It has moments that's like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Oh, it has
And
moments. I've seen some.
it has moments that you really get intimate with all the like Yakuza clans and like who's in the fourth chair, who's in the third chair. And it's just one of those like I have to play this game because I have to see like what the power struggle is, like what happens there.
Right.
And could I read it? Like yes, but it's there, it's on Game Pass, I might as well play it. It won't take me that long. I'm on chapter 8. I'm on chapter 9 and there are 12 chapters. So
Oh,
I've
okay.
probably got another 4 streams worth
Yeah.
cuz I normally stream about a chapter at a time and I'll be done with it.
Okay.
And then I hear the series starts picking back up from there. So this was just, I've said it several times. What else have I played? Covered the Ascent, Fallout, Yakuza. I have not picked back up on Mass Effect at all. Um, yeah, I think that's it for me. We did start
Okay.
playing a new board game.
Okay.
We started playing this game called Chick a Pig. It is a, it's a game that we actually play like the 4 of us. So I have um, well, I guess the day that this launches, he'll be 7. So I'll have a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old. And it is, think of like a checkerboard. And you have
Okay.
these
I'm on
little,
board.
okay. So you have a checkerboard. On the bottom of the checkerboard, you have 6 pigs. And then on each, so you got your board. On each side, there's 4 different sets of 6 pigs, and they're different colored. And then
Okay.
you have hay bales that are on the board.
Uh-huh.
And you roll the die and you start moving your pigs. But when you move it, say if you roll a 2, when you move it across the board all the way until it hits an object,
Mm.
whether it hits a, another pig or it hits a hay bale or it hits the cow. There's a
But just in a
cow on the
straight line
board.
though, like a rook.
Straight
Straight
line,
line.
yes.
Yep. Okay.
There's a cow that if you roll a 1, you can move the cow and it leaves poop.
Okay.
And then if your pig runs over the poop, then you have to draw a poop card and it's got like a nasty status effect, like you gotta re-roll or something, so whatever, just
Yeah.
several different things.
Okay.
So there's like a 2 grid that you're trying to get your chickapigs through. And there are different colored hay bales that correspond with your color and you have control to move those. So it's like you're moving these
Okay.
hay bales in a strategic way to then bounce your chickapig off of it to get yourself through the goal.
Right.
So, my 6-year-old, my 8-year-old, they picked up on it pretty quickly. And so I like finding those games. I mean, I play like hardcore games too. But I like finding more of these family friendly games because hey, I'm with these people all day and
Yep.
it just is something different for us to do. So Chick Pig's really good. It was like $15 or something when I bought it. That is a recommendation. So
Okay. I'll have to look into that one.
that is it for me. Rich, what have you been up to?
Oh, it's a lot of Witcher over here. Um, Still working my way through Time of Contempt, which is the 4th Witcher book in the chronological order of
Does it
reading
start
those
like
books.
does it start getting more into like Geralt's side of the story?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, he's in.
Okay.
I mean, he's a central. It's Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri. Those are the 3 sort of central people
The one I've read
throughout all the
2 of
books.
them, and the second one I read, the first one was more really about Geralt, and it was just like Geralt's going to go on all these different side quests,
Yep,
and then
that would have been the last wish.
the second one I read, it was really mostly about Ciri, which is
Uh-huh.
fine,
Yep.
but I don't know, I just kind of fell off the series by that point. So,
Yeah.
how are you liking the Time of Contempt?
It's really good. I would call it more of like a setup book. It's sort of
Mm,
taking like Siri is really the center of that universe, of that book universe. Geralt and Yennefer are equally important, and you could argue Geralt is, but Siri is sort of um, the central figure that sort of everybody's involved with. So this Time of Contempt is kind of setting the stage for some really big things to happen. And I think at the end of this book, it's like one of those things is going to happen, and then this book's going to end, and then the next book is going to be just pure craziness.
how
So,
many are there?
hold on, let me see here. We have there. I think there right now there's 9 total.
Whoa, okay. Is he not
So
done?
I I don't know. Some of these books are pretty old. Like the original
Okay.
Witcher books are like from the 80s. So, but hey, man, it's hot right now. I'd be writing books like crazy if I
I
was
know.
that guy.
I know. I wonder if he's involved with like the TV show, like writing
Yeah,
condensed versions of them for the TV shows.
he's not writing it, but they made him like a producer or something.
Sure.
So
Okay.
he's involved in some way or another. Um, so yeah,
He's
working my way through that.
yeah.
Um, I probably don't have much left in that. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through.
Are you
Um,
listening, reading, or both?
mix.
Okay.
Mix back and forth. Yep. Yep. Um, I did finish a Witcher comic. Uh, I think it's called The House of Glass. I can't remember how many volumes it is. It might be 6 or 7, or 6 or 7. Not volumes,
Volumes?
not
Issues?
volumes.
Okay.
Issues.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Little bite-sized pieces. That's
Sure.
actually that's actually a really good little run. Because it is like a little Geralt side quest.
Oh, okay.
Just, I mean, obviously comics kind of lend themselves to that format. Um, but it's just a little bitty side quest that he kind of goes on. It's pretty interesting. So I would recommend that if you're looking for a comic to read. It's pretty good.
I am actually. So yeah, I might check that out. Does the
But yeah,
Bloody Baron show up anywhere outside of the video game, or was that a CD Projekt Red creation?
he has not shown up in the books as of yet.
Okay.
But I mean, the more that I read, the more um, characters from the video game start showing up.
Oh, really?
And I
Okay.
think I'm going to get to the point in this next book where um, like a bunch of people are kind of going to join together and kind of have a little kind of Game of Thrones kind of like buddy cop style. Like they're going to group together and like go on a adventure sort of thing.
Hmm.
Here in probably the next book, and I think it's going to have some characters from the games. Well, really
Nice.
from the
Okay.
books, but the game that were in the games.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Hmm.
So yeah, really enjoying that stuff. I did, on keeping with The Witcher, the Witcher anime movie came out this week. Um, you have not watched this yet, correct?
No. No.
Okay. So they announced this movie probably like a year ago. Um, Obviously, they have the main Witcher TV show on Netflix, with Henry Cavill and kind of the
Mr.
main
PC
show.
Builder himself.
Yeah, yeah. But then they announced this anime, which is a prequel, and I think they announced another show that was going to be somewhat of a prequel. Um, so if you've played the games or read the books, um, this anime is based around Vesemir, who is
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Geralt's sort of mentor
Hmm.
in the Witcher guild. So Vesemir is a Witcher, um, and it sort of focuses on like his younger life, like in the books and in the games. Vesemir's kind of this older,
Right.
kind of washed up Witcher. You know, he's not going out killing a whole lot of monsters anymore. He's more of a teacher and a mentor. And this kind of tells his story and kind of explains what happened to Kaer Morhen, which is the home of the Witchers. So
Okay.
throughout the books and even throughout the games, the sacking of Kaer Morhen is mentioned. Like it was destroyed, and like a lot of Witchers were killed off, and that's why there's not very many anymore. And it gets into The Witcher is very political, very political book, and a very kind of culturally kind of racial book. Like
Right.
people don't like witchers, people don't like elves, people don't like dwarves and halflings, and all these non-humans is even what they refer to them sometimes.
Hmm.
And they're sort of marginalized in those books and even in the game. So it kind of digs into some of that. And it is only like 90 minutes long. It's a pretty short movie. I don't want to say too much about it, but it
I
does
will
go
watch it.
into
So,
kind of how witchers are made,
oh,
why kind of which is explained in the books, but it kind of goes into that in kind of a abbreviated fashion. But it's pretty good. I liked it quite a bit. I wish it was a TV series. Like I want more of it. That's probably my biggest complaint about it. It was too short. I mean, only being 90 minutes, like that's not a lot of time to really kind of dig into it, and
maybe
really,
they'll make another one.
yeah, maybe. I mean, but that just like Geralt and Witchers, like that just seems like the perfect sort of Clone Wars
Right.
style. Hey, what kind of crazy stuff are we gonna get into this week, kids? Like there's so many different places they could go with that universe. And like the main Netflix series is only like 10 episodes long usually.
Right.
Like that's not, and you're trying to tell this big huge story in there, like an anime or like an anime TV series like the Clone Wars or something like that would be a really good vehicle for like these little side offs and little side stories. But I'll take what I can get. But
Right.
it was really good. I cannot remember the guy who voiced Vesemir. Um, if you've ever watched Divergent, he's the guy in that.
Mm-mm.
I think he voices somebody in Castlevania. Also, he's like a pretty popular actor ish. Cannot remember his name though.
You said it's called House of Glass.
No, the anime is called Nightmare of the Wolf. Yep.
Oh, that was the book. Nightmare.
Yeah, House of Glass was the comic.
Okay.
Yeah. Ah, man, I cannot remember his name.
Hold on.
He
Hold
did a
on.
really good. He did a really good job though.
He played. Who'd he play? He
He played
played Vesemir.
Vesemir. Yeah, he was 4 in Divergent.
I'm looking. I'm
Um,
looking. Filling time.
the art was really good in the anime. Pretty brutal. Don't watch it around your kids.
Yeah, I've been watching Theo James.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure he did something with Castlevania too. That series.
Yeah. And so did Graham McTavish. I've seen that name too. Huh. Okay.
Wasn't he a Call of Duty character?
McTavish? That sounds like
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Uh, that's it for books. And yeah, haven't watched anything else as far as TV and movies are concerned. Um, I
You
did
haven't been
play a
checking
little.
out the Bad Batch at all?
No, I want to get through Clone Wars, and I have been neglecting riding my bike. I've been riding outside, so I haven't been watching a lot of Clone Wars. I need to get caught up probably over the winter I'll get caught up.
You want to check out that 100 degrees heat index, right?
Yeah, man. Gotta get that. Gotta get that on. I did download Spelunky 2 and played some
You
of that on
did.
stream a couple weeks ago. That's a lot more like that's a lot of Spelunky. It's a second Spelunky. That game is hard as hell. So if you've never played Spelunky, it's like a little level based like dungeon crawler where you start in a level and you're trying to get to the bottom and like through the door without dying. And each area has 4 levels, so like 1-4, like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. And then when you get to 2-1, if you do that enough times, you can make a tunnel to skip the first level. If you get enough like gold and stuff, you can eventually start skipping levels and sort of keep progressing. And as you go, you're like getting money and like buying different things like rocket packs and shotguns and I think I had like a freeze ray at one point, like all sorts of goofy stuff. I was trying my hardest on stream to play well, and that game is really hard to play while trying to talk and stream really. And I made it to 2-1 I think twice, which is saying something. But I mean that game is just so trolly in the way that it kills you. Like you'll kind of like jump down a level, like accidentally bump into like a bat, which will knock you back into an arrow, which kicks you off down onto spikes. And it's just like, and it happens in like a snap of a finger.
Like
it's
you,
just like,
you lose control,
and then
at
you're
that
just
point.
dead. Yeah, you're just dead. Yeah, you like ragdoll into it. Yeah. And then you get like you're trying to hurry because you only have so long to get through the levels. Or this
so
big like
timed.
ghost, this big ghost will come and like kill you. So yeah, like these little levels, you got to hurry up and get through them as fast as you can. It's fun. I'd like to play. We need to get together and play it on stream and kind of pass the controller. Because it's super funny the way that game likes to kill you.
Never played a Spelunky, so
yeah. It seems like you went the Rogue Legacy route and I went Spelunky. Those are very similar games, at least I think. But Spelunky's a lot of fun for sure. I think that's all I've got.
Any updates with the Outer Worlds?
Okay, Outer Worlds. Not really. Still playing. Every time I start that game again, I complain about the dialogue and how there's too much of it.
Yeah.
And I complain about how every time I pick up a quest, I go talk to the person for that quest, and then they give me a quest that I have to do the original quest that I picked up. And the first 15 minutes of the stream is just me complaining about that. And then by the end of the stream, I'm like, you know what? That was all good.
Yeah.
There was too much talking. There's still too much talking. There's too much dialogue. But the actual quests and the way they play out is good. That is a good game so far.
Yeah.
I am enjoying it. I am probably not. There's probably people watching that have played it before that are really frustrated because I'm not interacting with all the systems. And like I just figured out on part 9 that I could put armor on my followers. It just never even occurred to me. Like they're just running around in their base, you know, stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of systems I'm sure I'm not even interacting with, but that's okay. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It has this really cool mechanic with the holographic like camouflage, where when you're in a building that you're not supposed to be in, if you like stealth take down somebody, you can like take their disguise. And you'll look like them for a while, but every time you move or walk, it basically has this meter. And the more you move and walk, the more this meter goes down. And that's how much time you have for this like holographic disguise to work. And that was a really cool mechanic. I've only had to use that once thus far, but that was a pretty cool mechanic.
I think we've discovered how I play video games and how you play video games. It's a little different. I kind of
Yeah.
run and gun.
Yeah, we're trying to play Fallout together, and we're like running through like a building, like basically a dungeon, and like we go through a door. I'm like immediately crouched, like trying to like inch my way up to like a door, like a hallway opening, and like I'm kind of starting to peek my head around, and all of a sudden I just hear pew pew pew, and I just see you just run straight in, just right at everybody, and like crouch behind something, and I'm like, man, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh man, they see me.
yep. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. We definitely play those types of games differently, for sure.
See, I don't think I could get into like a Dishonored or
I've tried. I really I tried to play Dishonored 2 probably 6 months ago, and really liked it. But I I feel like that's one of those games like I need to read more about like how those systems,
sure.
because that's a
Yeah.
very kind of system heavy game with all the different abilities.
But see, with like a Metal Gear, like I loved Metal Gear,
Yeah,
and but you can play Metal Gear kind of any way you want. If you want to go in guns blazing, you can. Especially five.
right.
Five, you kind of rappel into an open world, and you can sneak around. You can throw bombs. You can blow up the building. You can pick people off with a sniper. Like you kind of can do whatever you want, which makes that game like really. That game is awesome. I mean,
Yeah, I have not played that.
it's so good. And I know you haven't, but
Yeah, yeah.
all right. Anything else before we move on to some news?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna scroll down here a little bit. You know what? I'm just gonna go straight from the top. So first bit of news here we have is Halo Infinite is launching with no campaign co-op or Forge. Releases December 8th of this year.
Yes. So I think about a week ago they sort of they either tweeted out a video like a little developer doc or something,
Mm.
and kind of snuck in there was, hey, this is going to launch. It's not going to have co-op in the campaign, and it's not going to have Forge. Like they're not done, and
Mm.
which is a bummer because I think a lot of people want to play that game co-op. Like the original Halo had campaign co-op. Like it's been 25 years ago that game, like that had to have been.
And this is a game that's supposed to have came out last year.
Yes, yes.
So the
And
fact
it's
that they're
still not done.
still
And the
saying it's
crazy
not
thing
done.
is, I think it's November 25th is the some date in November. I can't remember which date it is the 25th anniversary of Halo.
Oh
And this game
wow.
is going to launch on December 8th. Like it's so not done that they missed like the opportunity to launch this game on the anniversary of Halo. That's got me a little worried because that's only a couple weeks. And that's like synergy, like marketing people and companies love that stuff, right?
Oh, I
They're eating
know.
that up. They're like, I don't
Yeah.
care if that game's not ready. That shit is launching that
Right.
day, like, and the fact that it's
You think
not.
Todd Howard would have let Skyrim slip from 11/11/11 or whatever the
Oh
date
hell
was
no!
that
Yeah,
they
I mean that's the kind
no.
of yeah. So that's got me a little worried. So the campaign, just the campaign, and the free multiplayer will launch December 8th.
But the campaign won't have co-op.
No,
Are you
which is
gonna play
nuts.
that?
I really wanted to play through it together.
I know I did too. That's why I'm like,
Um, so I might focus on might have to focus on
just
multiplayer, I
multiplayer.
guess. They did say that when they were kind of shooting to have co-op in, it looks like it'll be part of their season 2 uh, of post-launch content, and that
Rich,
Forge.
how do you launch a Halo game with no co-op?
Dude, I have no idea. Like,
How
how
is
can that
that not
not? I
how is
I don't
that
know.
not like
I don't know.
we can't launch without this? Like
I don't know.
from the beginning you've played Halo with your buddies and
Yes.
now you won't I mean it's coming. So
Yep.
if you want to wait, you can, but it's not
Yeah.
there. It's
They've been making this video game for 25 years,
no.
and they can't. This
And
one
they're
they can't get
staggering
it
the
done.
release.
Yeah, they can't
You
get it
might as
done.
well just wait until season 2. and then launch it all.
Yeah. I mean, I've said from the beginning, like Halo 4 was just okay. Halo 5, nobody that I know likes Halo 5. Like this is it. Like if they don't get this game right, then it's done. Like they're gonna have to like hardcore reboot it, give it to another studio, do something completely different.
But Rich,
And
this is supposed to be that. This
I
is
know,
supposed to be that hardcore
they-
reboot. And what they've shown off is just like it
yeah,
seems like
but
it's
it's
just kind
not
of
done. Like it clearly wasn't ready. Like they still don't like the multiplayer has gotten good feedback, and I liked what I played. But the campaign and the forge and that stuff, that's important too. And there's still time for them to mess up the multiplayer. Like they can still do it.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's pretty surprising that's not ready. Is but you know, you look at the Ascent. I mean, we can't play that game co-op.
I know.
I mean, Cyberpunk launched completely broken. There's been a lot of games that have been that way. Apparently, these things are harder than they used to be.
And coming at this as like from like a system engineer level, this is kind of the way that Microsoft launches things now. If you look at some of the apps that have launched in like their Microsoft 365 ecosystem, they are severely bare bones.
Yeah,
Like they have like task tracking apps that they'll launch, and it's like, okay, we've got this, and it's got a couple features, and here's our user voice to give us feedback. And then out of the gate, it's just like it's just a ton of feedback. It's like, why can we not do this or this or this? And then
yeah,
they're like, okay, we'll start working on this, and we're about 6 months out, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So there's different task tracking apps for your team or for like your personal use that I like will show off to the business, but it's like, it's still kind of limited with what you can do with this right now. And in a couple of years they'll get there, but
right.
you just kind of have to. It's very agile, which is a methodology for like project management. And the agile approach is get the MVP out there as quick as you can and iterate, which is what
Yeah,
they've been doing with video games a lot. It's the whole Fallout and No Man's Sky cyberpunk approach, and now they're doing it with Halo, and gamers just aren't used to that. They want everything up front,
yep.
and it's tough because Microsoft can release Halo and start making money to help fund building the rest of the campaign, which they'll make even more money because if they're going to do seasons,
See, I don't think it's a money issue. They're a billion
well,
dollar company like that. Like if they really wanted it, like I think it's a technical issue. I think it's I think it's creative and technical. Like not knowing anything about it. Like it's got to be those two things headbutting.
I think it's still them showing it off and seeing the reception of
Well, yeah, they
like,
obviously went back and
yeah,
completely reworked it. Yeah, yeah, they made at some point along the line before last year they made decisions that obviously were not good decisions at that time.
right.
Yeah, about what they wanted that game to look like. But for it to not launch with the co-op campaign, that's like Call of Duty not launching with like multiplayer or um
Zombies.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
that's just wild.
So
Yeah.
it'll have the campaign,
Yes, but you
but
will
you
not be
just
able to
won't be
play a
able to
co-op.
co-op.
Nope.
Hmm.
Yep.
It seems like that's like 3 lines of code to do that. You think that they would just add it. Just throw that if statement in
Yep.
there.
Just
If
go to
co-op,
Stack Overflow.
yeah,
Type in
just copy
Halo
that.
campaign co-op. Copy
Yeah, and just
paste.
grab all that code.
Yep. Yep. Just put it right in there.
Into that Git repository, fork it,
Yep.
build your own branch.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep. Yep.
Horizon Forbidden West have been delayed till February 20. I didn't know that was coming out this year.
Yeah, it was. I don't know that it had a date, but it was scheduled to come out late this year. Um, a couple months ago they kind of showed off like a gameplay trailer of that game, which looked pretty good.
Great, sure did.
Yeah, and I liked the first game. But yeah, they pushed it back, which is not all that surprising. It's been rumored now for probably 2 weeks that game was going to get pushed, and which is, I think the biggest issue is for Sony. Like, they don't really have any other games coming out other than Deathloop that I can think of off the top of my head. And now Microsoft owns Deathloop, so I don't. So that's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean,
Sony doesn't have anything else coming out.
Man, I don't think so.
So Horizon was going to be their big game.
Yeah.
Did you played the first one, right?
Yeah. No, it's a good game.
Okay.
It's got bows, and you get to be sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kill robots. Robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, that was a great game. Yeah. I want it. I don't have a PlayStation 5. I would want to play this on PC. So regardless, I was going to wait for probably another year. Anyway, so we'll see where they get at there. I don't really have much to add. I want to play it. I did not expect it to even come out this year. So
yeah,
I might enjoy this in the fall of 2023 when it finally they break through that embargo or that whatever it's called, the exclusivity. That's
do you think Sony's? I mean, I don't know when this is coming to PC. I'm sure it will. The last game they eventually brought to PC, it was super broken when they did.
Yeah, I think they fixed that stuff.
But do you think that Sony feels more pressure to do that when they have to sit back and watch Microsoft, like,
just wreck,
just launch, Halo Infinite or launch Forza Horizon 5 and go, okay, it's on every Xbox that there is, it's on PC. We might fucking throw it up on Steam. We don't care. Like, I opened up Steam today and saw the first banner on Steam today was for Halo Infinite multiplayer. Add it to your wish list.
Really?
Yeah. Like, do you think that Sony's looking at that and going, man, maybe we should do like maybe we should be pushing toward like simultaneous like PC to like PS5, PS4 releases?
I mean, me personally, I don't ever see me buying a PlayStation 5. But so I will only play PlayStation games when they come out on PC. When they break that barrier, I'm waiting on Final Fantasy VII to finally break away from whatever exclusivity deal it has and come out for PC. I mean, they work with Square Enix on this, and Square Enix releases their games on PC, so I'm sure they're like, we want to release on another console or computer or whatever because we can make a lot more money instead of just being on this. There's only so many PlayStation 5s out there, but there are millions of PCs out there. So
yeah, and then one thing I didn't put on here that's sort of ancillary to what we're talking about or related to what we're talking about. Xbox did announce that they will be launching the cloud gaming on consoles, so you'll be able to fire up your Xbox One S or One Series console, or not One Series. That's a bad way to put that.
Series X.
Your
Series S.
one console, like One S or One X, the older ones, and play cloud games, streaming them, and streaming the Series X versions to your last generation console.
Can I stream in 4K?
I would think so.
Can I use my 1S and
Yes.
stream in 4K?
I think so. Yes.
Well, then why would I buy a Series X?
If you don't have great internet, and the cloud streaming's really bad right now. It's not very good.
That's true. Yeah.
It's never going to be as good as having a Series X.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if you're playing something casual,
right,
then it's fine. I'm not going to try to stream Apex Legends,
right,
and try to be competitive.
No. But it just seems like Microsoft's just like, let's just get everything out there everywhere, and we're gonna like put it on this monthly subscription thing, so everybody thinks they're just getting everything for free, and we're gonna put it on PC. We're gonna put it on like it's just everywhere, you know.
I mean, essentially, they're getting $180 a year out of people,
Yep.
and I think the latest numbers I seen was like 17 million people are subscribed to Ultimate.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Yeah.
It's a lot of people, so that's
And
why
and
they're
pl-
able to
and
make all
PlayStation
these
still
crazy
doesn't
deals.
have they still don't have a competitor to that yet.
They do, but they just don't market it. I mean, that system, their Play system or
It's
whatever
not
it's
the
called.
same though. Horizon's not going to be free.
That's
It'll
true. Okay,
be
sure.
free on PlayStation Plus. You're going to have to pay $60.
But there's like 800 games on that service though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not that it's a bad service. It is kind of bad
No.
because you can't download them. You do have to stream them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. They do have that PS4 to PS5 that's got some of their older stuff on there, so you could play like God of War. I'm
Yeah.
sure Horizon is on there. But yeah, I don't know. Seems like very Nintendo of Sony to be acting like this. And what I mean is like Nintendo kind of plays by their own rules. You know, they're just
Right.
like, we're doing our own
Yeah.
thing. Like you guys hash it out between
Yep.
yourselves.
You're going to pay too much money for Skyward Sword, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. If you want to play if you want to play a Mario game, you're going to do it on a Switch. And that's it. Like we will never release on PC or anything. So.
Right. Yep. Yep.
But you know that.
The only thing that can break through that is rabbits.
Yeah. but you see Sony is like, let's throw Horizon out there and we'll see how it does. Oh, it breaks a lot and it's buggy, but we'll fix it. But it's like, I want to see God of War. I loved that God of War game.
Yeah.
That game is awesome. I would possibly play it again if I could play it on my computer because there's some stuff I missed. I'm sure there's DLC I missed. So I don't know. They might get there. And like I said, I just want to play that Final Fantasy VII remake, but I'm not buying a console. So I'm just going to hold out, see what happens.
Yeah.
What else we got here? They're making a Marvel XCOM game. Wasn't that announced?
I'm not sure. So today on Wednesday, August 25th. Today was the opening night live of Gamescom. It was Jeff Keighley's the pre-Keighley's, the German Keighley's, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of news today. There's a new Saints Row game.
Okay.
There's this game that I thought was announced. Maybe this was teased or something, but they actually have some character art. So like it's gonna have Wolverine, Blade,
I gotta look at this. Midnight Suns,
Ghost Rider, I think Iron Man.
Yeah, I see Iron Man. I can't tell who the woman is because the big YouTube symbol is like covering her face. So
yeah,
there will be a lady. Lilith, Mother of Demons. Johnny Blaze.
Oh, it looks like this is based on a actual comic book arc. Doctor Strange in there.
Okay. Captain Marvel.
So there you go.
I bought XCOM 2. And I somehow have XCOM the first one. I think I got it in a Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
But I've never played it. I've never played either of them. So
yeah.
We might have to stream some of that at some point, just kind of see what it's like. But it seems cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't really have much to add to that. What else was shown at this conference?
I mean, quite a bit. There's kind of probably too much to go through. I think at some point the Dying Light 2 got shown off, which is that like first person parkour zombie game.
Mm-hmm.
State of Decay got more DLC. State of Decay 3, or no, 2. 3's the new one. State of Decay 2 got more DLC. The new Saints Row game. There was some. Xbox had their own deal kind of before Gamescom.
Yeah. I do have that pulled up here if you want me to go over some of this.
There's a lot of Flight Simulator stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like that was front and center. They talked about the cloud gaming coming to consoles. Forza Horizon 5 looks like it has a reveal trailer. That game looks fun. Game Pass is getting a flood of new games, including some stuff from the Humble community, the Humble Games group.
Yeah.
I see some of their stuff hit the PC Game Pass already, so I'm sure there was already some sort of relationship there, so they're just going to start releasing those games. Dying Light 2, Age of Empires 4, heck yes, can't wait. A game called Stray Blade, which is a brutal action RPG with intense combat and adventurous exploration. Some Crusader Kings is coming to console, and that looks like that's about the gist of all of that. Wow, that actually went 90 minutes to cover that stuff. So yeah. They must have did a lot of flight simulator stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then the last bit of news I have on here, it's not really gaming related, but it's that OnlyFans is known for what you think it's known for. And they
adult content.
Yeah, so it's like Patreon, where you can establish like a fan base and people can subscribe to you.
It's like it's more of a video service, right?
I will admit I'm not
I've never been to OnlyFans. So I've never been to onlyfans.com or .io or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
But I assumed from the memes that I've seen and like how people talk about it that it's like a Twitch like / Patreon for adult things.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exclusive to just video though. I think because so when all the stuff was happening with Twitch, where it's like they were
the hot tub stuff. Yeah, like when they censored that, everybody flipped.
Yeah, they started banning it. So then people were like, okay, well, we're going to start a Patreon and we'll go to OnlyFans and we'll kind of like ratchet it up a little bit there.
Right.
So the reason that we're bringing this up is because they are going to start banning sexually explicit material, which is the only thing that they're really known for.
Right.
So they are doing this because their stakeholders are like not liking the fact that that's what they're known for. But it's what kind of made them unique. You know, I don't know what Patreon's terms of service is, but I don't see a lot of porny style stuff on Patreon. So I'm sure that they don't allow that.
Yeah, yeah.
And OnlyFans was a way for people that want to get into that content and people that want to consume that content that's giving them a way to do that. And I'm sure you've got your 15% or 10% or whatever that you have to pay to up front. But for the most part, that's going to go all to the creator outside of whatever OnlyFans is charging. So the fact that they're going to like ratchet that back and make it to where you just can't really have that stuff on there anymore. It's like, okay, well, what are you? What are you? What's going to set you apart? Why would I use OnlyFans and not Patreon or not this other stuff that already has an established community? And you know, or I'm trying to get into the adult stuff, but now there's not really a site for me to do that on. So just kind of a strange thing that they're doing that, but I guess appeasing stakeholders is kind of your ultimate game at that point, and if they're not happy with it, then you kind of
Yeah, yeah. It seems like it's been. I have not followed this at all, but somebody on my Twitter feed, who's like a tech journalist for the Wall Street Journal, she posted I go on vacation for 10 days, and OnlyFans has gone from porn to no more porn, back to porn, thinking of taking another 10 days off just to see what happens. So I
oh,
think
so that
I think it's probably one of these like uh somebody in the company was like, we're going to back off that. And some other person was like, yeah, but that makes this chart on the spreadsheet go down. So we're not
right
going to do that. And they were like, probably some corporate miscommunications, I would say. So it seems like it's still
up in the air what they're
up in
gonna
the air.
do,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
and
Because I
there's
think the thing that I understood about the Twitch stuff specifically, which OnlyFans was huge before that happened, already, not huge, but
right,
pretty popular for that kind of stuff before the Twitch stuff happened, is people were asking some of those people that were leaving Twitch over the hot tub stuff and other stuff, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you don't have Twitch. And they're just like, yo, I'm making bank over here on OnlyFans.
right,
Like, I ain't worried about Twitch. And then I think Twitch probably saw that and we're like, oh wait, if we completely do this, we're gonna lose these doing the same thing, right? Like, they
right.
take this kind of moral high road and then kind of come back down the mountain a little bit uh, once the bottom line starts to move a bit. So
Mhm.
yeah, who knows where that's going to go?
Like, I'm not a economist. I think Twitch could completely abandon all that and be fine.
Yeah,
I don't really think of Twitch for that reason. The there's just there's some unique stuff that's going on there, and I know that they have a pretty wide audience, but
yeah,
they're known for gaming stuff. And aren't they owned by Amazon?
yes.
So I don't know. I can kind of see why it's like Amazon doesn't really want to get
So I
into
would agree
that
with
side of
you.
things.
I would tend to agree with you, but people like to watch what they believe to be attractive people do just about anything.
Sure.
And there's a lot of that on Twitch. Um, there's a lot of that everywhere. If you turn
Right.
on Netflix, you will see no less than at least 6 different dating shows. Uh, Too Hot to Handle. The there's so many on there. Like, you flip it on,
Right.
and my wife loves those shows. It's her like just garbage television that she's just
Is
gonna
it the
turn on.
fact that she wants to see the relationship stuff, or does she like the
It's the
drama?
drama. Yeah, it's the
Okay.
drama. She's not, but it's all these young, muscular, or like beautiful women and like all this stuff, and they're just doing these ridiculous things. And yeah, I mean, there's that stuff everywhere.
Hmm.
But and that stuff is on Twitch for sure, and they totally play into it. I mean, like, you look at not to call out anybody specific, but you look at like Pokimane. Like,
Sure.
she totally plays into that quote unquote character that she's playing. She absolutely, like, she understands who her audience is. Like,
Absolutely.
sh-
She's very
she
smart.
she is playing she is a gamer, but that is not why people come to watch her play.
Right.
The people don't come there are probably some people that do, but not all of them do.
Right.
And that goes both ways, right? I mean, men, women, whoever, whoever or
Hmm.
whatever. So, I mean, but like, if it's not OnlyFans, it's something else. Something else will fill the void that OnlyFans
Absolutely. Yeah.
leaves or creates, or whatever. Something will fill that void one way or the
There
other.
will be a fan only site.
There will be a place for that content
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
no
It'll
matter what.
exist.
Yeah,
And they will happily
because
take
people
their
will
money.
pay money for that thing.
There you
It
go.
doesn't matter what it is, what site it's got to be on. As long as people pay money for it, it'll exist somewhere.
Yeah. All right. We got anything else?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Want to do one more question?
Yes. Let's
Okay.
do one more.
All right. Okay. I'm not looking rich. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep.
flip it.
You flipped it.
All
Is
right.
that an
Top
ad?
one.
Is that an ad at the top? Do you have to look at ads?
It is an ad. It's a Science Diet, a step ahead for their best life, and it's got a little kitty cat on it. Let's see if you can
Sweet.
see that or not. Okay. Here's the question. What's the most depressing meal you've eaten?
Depressing meal I've eaten.
I've got a good story of
Oh
this.
boy. Go
It's
ahead.
not
I'll
it's not
think.
really it's not really depressing, but it was I will not call out this individual, but if this person listens to this podcast, I'm sure he will get a good kick out of this. Went to a friend's house and I was probably 14 or 15 years old. And um sure, his parents are great. I still know his parents. Great people. Keep a stock kitchen. I'm like, hey, we went out late, probably getting into some trouble, and then like, okay, let's go to your house and grab some food. And he couldn't find anything, so he grabs hot dog buns and a jar of peanut butter, and we just eat just peanut butter hot dogs. So I don't know why I remember that, but I just remember him handing me this hot dog
Okay. Yeah.
bun
You
with nothing in it but peanut butter.
you
I was just
jarred my
like,
memory.
it's like what? Why? It
So
was delicious. I mean, peanut butter and bread's great. So
yeah. So like during the summer, like in like I don't know, I was probably in middle school. So like I was probably like 14 or 13, and my little brother's 4 years younger than me, and he was like 10 or 11 probably. And like during the summer when we're not in school, like my mom and would just leave us at home by ourselves, like while she went
sure.
to work.
Yeah.
No big deal. It was a long time ago. Kids, like I'd never do that to my kids now. Wink, wink. Um, I feel like you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. Like
It's
you left your kids at
weird.
home. Like my kids are a little too young. They're 6 and 3, but like your kids are getting close, like 8 and 6. Like you could probably leave them in that house and they might not burn it down.
It would be fine.
They would be fine.
But yeah.
Like all reality, but like I feel like people give you the side eye, like, oh, well, you're that parent, you know?
I can't help it, but there is a kid down my street that walks by himself, and it's always just like, why can't the parent like
Oh
walk down to
no.
the bus stop?
Oh no. See,
But there's nothing wrong with it.
yeah, I always had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. My
That makes
wife
you into a man.
my wife walked blocks to get to school, and it's like at the end of the day, it's like we don't have to walk our kids, but they'll be fine.
Yeah, man. Learn life
And
lessons.
this kid is perfectly fine, but it's always
Yep.
just like they're breaking the norm, and it's just
Right.
different,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Okay. So back to my story.
Yeah.
So me and my brother were home alone. You know, I'm like 14. He's probably 11. We're like, man, we're getting kind of hungry. Like, what are we going to eat for lunch? You know, and we're kind of looking around. There's not a lot, you know, in the fridge, not a lot of leftovers. You know, we've probably eaten enough like peanut butter sandwiches and like peanut butter
Sure.
and jelly and like bologna and ham and turkey to like
You
start an
just
army.
grab the bologna right out of the package and just roll it up and eat it.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, just
That's not
we
even
burnt.
depressing.
I
That's
mean
just a
we
Thursday, you know?
yeah we burn out on that. Bologna's one of my totally favorite things.
Dude, fried
So we're
bologna. Uh,
what?
fried bologna.
Oh dude, yeah
A
dude,
fried bologna and egg sandwich. Holy shit.
that'd be my last meal. Just give me that. You got to burn it a little bit. It's way better.
Like
It's
the guys, they're just like, yo, we can get you a steak. You're like, no. I'll
yeah.
take a fried
This
bologna
is
and
this is
egg.
getting on a tangent here, but no joke. When I moved out of the house at 18 and started a job and was living in an apartment 3 days after I graduated high school,
Huh,
and
I did the same thing.
literally like would go to the store, get the big shopping cart and just fill it with bread, bologna, mustard, and like potato chips,
Yeah.
and like come home and just eat that for every meal. And then I remember having like this epiphany of I can go buy whatever I want. Like, if I want to go buy that crazy peanut butter and jelly mixed together in a jar, I can fucking do that.
What is that called? Is that called like goobers?
Goobers. Yeah, goobers. Like I can just be pure chaos and do whatever I want. Anyway, okay, back to the story. So
Okay.
me and my brother were trying to figure out what the hell are we gonna eat. And there's just no food. There's no chips left. It's just been ransacked. Well, same concept. We found a loaf of bread because there's always bread, and a bottle of A1 steak sauce. And we literally poured the steak sauce like onto a plate, not even into a little bowl, and just dipped bread into steak sauce and ate it. And it's great.
Wow.
But looking back at it, that was kind of messed up. Yeah. That was a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is funny because
gosh.
like we ate the shit out of like Chef Boyardee and
Yeah.
SpaghettiOs and like all that stuff. This week, like my work's been crazy, my wife's work's been crazy, and we were trying to like get the kids home and then like get a meal together. It's like 6 o'clock. Like, what are we gonna feed these freaking monsters? And like we always have like some Chef Boyardee or whatever, and they've never really eaten it before. And so I break out some like Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs. You know, I even went through the trouble of like pouring it in a saucepan and actually cooking it on a stove.
Not even microwaving it.
Not even a
it
microwave.
Explode in your microwave.
Yeah. So I went like 5 stars Chef Boyardee here.
Wow.
I even put a little spices in there, you know.
A little Italian seasoning.
Oh, dude, I served this up. Dude, my kids
Parmesan?
looked at me. My kids looked at me like I was insane. They took one bite of this stuff and was like, "No, we ain't eating that.
Yeah.
We are above this." And I'm like,
it's not tan food. I'm not eating it.
I was like, you guys are not my kids. You're somebody else's kids. I ate your guys' weight in this at least 5 times in my lifetime.
My daughter is super hooked on ramen, and we taught her how to cook it. So now that's just like her go-to.
Like in the microwave?
No, she cooks it on the stove, boils it for 3 minutes, separates the noodles, adds the powder, and she does it all. So
that's good. That's good. My wife couldn't do that.
I did not know how to cook growing up. So cooking lip noodles was like one of the first, outside of like scrambling eggs and cooking a hot dog.
Yeah.
I felt like I knew what I was doing when I could read the back of a package of Lipton noodles. Be like, okay, I need to boil water and then add the package, and then at 7 minutes I got to take it off the burner at 7 minutes, and then we're good to go. But
no, that I didn't cook a ton either, but when I lived by myself, I did. Once I figured out I could go to the grocery store and buy a ribeye steak and do whatever the hell I wanted, I was like, hell yeah, man, I'm gonna figure out how to cook. Yeah. This is awesome. Well, I gotta feed me. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was a good question. Let's hit your button, Rich.
I want to hit buttons. There's your button.
Thank you all for watching, listening, however you consume this. If you want to send us an email, you can send that at emails at bitpunch.tech. You can visit our website at bitpunch.tech. You can consume all of our podcasts on there, and then there's links to everything else out there that we contribute to from the website. We stream to Twitch. We are on Twitch most days. You can watch us at BitPunch there, twitch.tv/BitPunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BitPunch. I would like to be a little more vocal on Twitter. Our Twitter, we tend to just kind of discuss what we're doing. I might, try to get a little bit more involved with that. We archive everything to our YouTube BitPunch, so you can go to users/BitPunch, and you can see all of our archived content on there. Then lastly, we do a monthly newsletter where we just talk about random books, tech, or video games, whatever we're kind of been discussing throughout the month, and just kind of see like what sort of bullshit we're going to get up to that next month. So you can get that at bitpunch.substack.com. That comes out towards the end of the month every month. So Yeah, that is all we got. Rich,
Michael,
thank you.
thank you.
And we will be back in a couple weeks. Thank you all for listening. Ciao.
Bye.